Go.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Oh, well, I guess we're going to go over this today, class of classifying elements, compounds, and mixtures. I'm glad that you've shown up today to learn about this lesson. All right, so first thing we're going to start with is a pure substance. A pure substance is a sample of matter that has a definite chemical and physical properties. Where are you going to find some pure substances? Well, look at our periodic table. They are full of pure substances. Okay, elements are pure substances that can be separated into simpler substances by physical and chemical means. We've already gone over the periodic table before. Then compounds. They are basically pure substances composed of two or more different elements joined by chemical bonds. So, for instance, our favorite thing to drink, water, is a compound, H2O. It has two hydrogen and an oxygen. So we have elements that have come together to create a compound. They're made of elements with a specific ratio that is always the same. Water is always H2O. So it's never HO, it's never H2O2. Those are different compounds. It has a chemical formula, and it can only be separated by chemical means, not physical. So they chemically have to be separated. So like carbon dioxide and salt, in order to separate them, it has to be by chemical means. Mixtures, as Kelly has already talked about some mixtures, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but it's just knowing again that it's a combination of two or more pure substances that are not chemically combined. Okay, remember, in a compound they are chemically combined. This, they are not. You can separate them by physical forces, and no chemical change has taken place. Okay, so mixtures versus compounds. We've kind of already talked about mixtures, but as far as compounds, you can't separate them. Mixtures you can, just like if you had, I had like a box of rocks, I could pull rocks out, whereas my salt, I can't separate it into different substances. Just like my water, I can't separate it into hydrogen, and I can't separate it into oxygen. But if I had sand and I had water, I mean, I could separate those two as far as a mixture. So that's kind of a really good thing to know. As you can see here, they talk about the separation there as well. Okay, so we're going to go through some examples here, and we are going to identify the problem. We're going to be showing a series of photos. Tell if each photo represents an item composed of an element, compound, or mixture. So just remember, an element contains just one type of atom. Compound contains two or more different atoms joined together, and a mixture contains two or more different substances that are only physically joined together, not chemically. And a mixture can contain both elements and compounds. All right, so first one up in this series is rocks. What do we think it is? Is it an element, compound, or mixture? What was that? Yes, it's a mixture. You are correct. Good job. Give yourself a pat on the back at home. You did it. Okay, next one up. This might be a little more harder. Copper. This is what people like to steal a lot. Don't do it because you can be charged with that. So, do we think it's an element, compound, or mixture? What? Yes, it's an element. Good job. Excellent. Copper is an element. You can find that on the periodic table of elements. Good job. Jelly beans. What we like to eat, right? Or is it just what old people like to eat? But anyways, element, compound, or mixture. I'll tell you a really funny story about jelly beans. At a family reunion, yes, we all have family reunions, they actually asked us to count how many jelly beans were in the jar, and I put down the exact number. So I won the jar of jelly beans. That's kind of a weird random tidbit about me. But what do we think it is? Element, compound, or mixture? You are correct. It is a mixture. Then we have table sugar. Do you think it's an element, compound, or mixture? It's a compound. Okay? See here, it's got carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Element, compound, or mixture, diamond. Diamond is a girl's best friend. We should know this one. It is an element. It's actually made of carbon. Really old, dinosaurs. How we like to learn about dinosaurs. After a while, they got crushed down. We got oil, and then diamonds eventually get formed from that too. So, okay, tea. You like a spot of tea? Do we think that's an element, compound, or mixture? It's a mixture. Good job. Give yourself another pat on the back. Salt. I already talked about salt a little bit earlier. NaCl. Do we think it's an element, compound, or mixture? That would be a compound. Okay, you can see two elements have combined together. They need to be chemically separated. Okay. Neon gas. Key. Neon. What do we think it is? Can you find that on the periodic table of elements? Yes, you can. Salad. We all know we love salad, right? Yes. Even Eli likes salad, so that's a win for me. I think it's element, compound, or a mixture. Think of all the different elements that you can put in a salad. Can you separate them? If you don't like tomatoes, can you take your tomatoes out? Yes, you can. It is a mixture. I didn't like onions growing up, so I would pull out the red onions. If it's a mixture, you can do that really quite easily. Pure water. Okay? What do we think that would be? Element, compound, or mixture? It's a compound. Okay? So pure water, you can see here, as hydrogen and oxygen, it needs to be separated by chemical means. That's why it's a compound. Aluminum, or if you live in England or Australia, it's aluminium. It is an element. Lemonade, good thing to drink on a summer day. Element, compound, or mixture? It is a mixture. Silver, a lot of people have silver. That was like a big antique thing that my parents still have. Silver plates, silver platters. What do we think it is? Is it an element, compound, or mixture? It is a element. It's also found on the element or periodic table of elements. Okay, sand. Element, compound, or mixture? It's a mixture. They're actually tiny, tiny pieces of stone and all these other debris that have just been worn way down. And if you kind of look at sand really closely, it's really kind of intriguing to look at. If you ever go to a beach again, have a look at it. I'm not talking about beaches here. I'm talking about like a proper beach. Okay, so here's a nice little flow chart where we can look at matter and how it's separated into pure substances and it's separated into mixtures. So just know pure substances can be elements. So those are the individual elements that you would see on a periodic table, such as hydrogen. We have that by itself. That's just an element by itself. It could also be a compound, so something like water, like H2O. It's still a pure substance, but it's as a compound. So it's still under the pure substance category. And then you have mixtures, which you went over with Miss Kelly, where we talk about heterogeneous and homogeneous mixtures as well. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, just make sure that you reach out to any of us teachers and we will be gladly to help you. Have a great day.